And Lyra Valkyria has her hands full. You saw official Jessica Carr holding up the Intercontinental Championship. As I mentioned, Lyra Valkyria winning that 12-woman tournament back in January to crown the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. Becky Lynch, who's done it all from being a part of the first ever women's WrestleMania main event back at WrestleMania 35, where she would become the undisputed women's champion, holding both at the time the SmackDown and Raw women's titles, which are both now defunct championships that have been replaced by the Women's World Championship held by Io Sky and the WWE Championship held by Tiffany Stratton. But right now, this match is about Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. It's about somebody that Lyra Valkyria saw as a mentor. And because of that, Becky Lynch took advantage of the opportunity and sought after going after Lyra. This was Becky's plan all along. That's as clear as day. She made it crystal clear that she was the one who would attack Bayley. Wait. And a roll up there, a 1 count. Becky made it clear that she was the one who attacked Bayley on before WrestleMania Saturday, leaving Lyra Valkyria with 24 hours to find a new tag team partner. And fortunately enough for Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch was in town, being in attendance for the Hall of Fame on Friday. So Becky Lynch wasn't willing to miss WrestleMania season, and saw it fit that it was the perfect opportunity, even though it was Bayley who was the one who teamed with Lyra to win the gauntlet match. Meanwhile, rocking Becky Lynch like a horse, toying with the man. Will the man be forced to submit? And then, so the man, Becky Lynch, they win the tag team titles. Becky Lynch comes out as the surprise replacement for Bayley in the tag team match against Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania. They go on to win the titles. But then you get to the next night on Monday Night Raw as Liv and Raquel get their request for a rematch granted. That it becomes very apparent what things could happen. And that being that it could be an embarrassing moment, that losing the titles after 24 hours. Oh, wait, look at this. Oh, the shoulders were down. And with that being said, it came down to it, and Lyra ended up being the one that took the pin. But with Becky Lynch already having been the one that took out Bayley, which we would later find out the following week, following the loss of the tag titles for Lyra and Becky, you take a look at that and you realize how long, if they hadn't lost the tag titles on the Raw after WrestleMania, how long would have Becky Lynch put on this facade? How long would Becky Lynch have been playing this little game of pretending to play Lyra's, mentor, before it was time to show her true colors, that she was really after her Intercontinental Championship? But you got to think at some point that Becky Lynch truly cared for Lyra Valkyria. But at this point, Becky has shown no remorse over the last few weeks, ever since losing the tag titles and snapping on Lyra Valkyria. And Becky Lynch has just beaten Lyra to a pulp. Becky, who, as I've mentioned, has done it all, from Women's World Champion to WWE to WWE Women's Champion to Tag Champ. She's done it. And she looks to add one more to her list of accolades. Becky Lynch is in control right now. You saw Lyra try to get back involved, try to pick up a little bit here. And a slap. I don't know how wise that was. Becky Lynch establishing dominance. No response from Lyra. Things are not looking good for the champion at this point in this match. And that look in Becky Lynch's face. And Becky Lynch going after Lyra, but nobody home. Becky gets the boot up. And looking for a Beck-sploder, and it connects. And you can see the look, the expression on the face of Lyra. And now the shoulders are down. And now arguing with the official, Jessica Carr. She was watching it very closely. That's not, you never want to waste too much time arguing with the official. She's calling it right down the middle. And driving the knee into the spine of Lyra, who was hung up there on that bottom rope. It's a perfect opportunity for Becky Lynch to take control, to add more. And now Becky Lynch with a baseball slide. And Lyra Valkyria, the last, like as mentioned, Lyra, Becky, their last encounter in a one-on-one situation. It was Lyra who got the victory. That's the fiance of Lyra Valkyria, and Becky Lynch had a lot to say to him. And Becky Lynch going for the cover to win the title, but it's Lyra who kicks at it too. What an impressive showing from both. Let's take a look at both perspectives, okay? Becky Lynch has been very dominant throughout this match. But at the same time, on the opposite spectrum, you look at Lyra Valkyria, who's showing a lot of willpower when she has been through a lot, still finding the willpower to stay with it. Now that she's being pushed around, what you're seeing right now, she's being pushed around. And Lyra, with defiance, with willpower. Becky Lynch disrespecting. Looking for a Beck-sploder. Another one. But Lyra rolls it around. Turning through. Look at, oh! And down goes Lynch. And almost like a walking into and then taking down Becky Lynch with like a fisherman suplex. And there's only been one women's Intercontinental champion, that being the inaugural champion, Lyra Valkyria. She is 7-1 this year. A very impressive record for Lyra Valkyria. And Lyra, boom, what an enziguri, catches Becky and stuns the challenger. And a gut wrench, power bomb to Lynch, but Lynch stays alive. And Lyra thought that was it, pleading with the official. But it just wasn't enough to keep Becky Lynch down. But you look at the willpower of Lyra Valkyria, and you can see how far she is willing to go. And for her to find her way back into this match after what Becky Lynch had put her through the last few minutes or so prior to Lyra finding the opportunity to take the upper hand in this matchup. But it's Becky Lynch who gets a couple shots in there. Now we're heading up high. This is where things become very dangerous. You go into high risk, high reward territory. And it can either make or break your chances of leaving as champion. of leaving, leaving as the victor. And a superplex by Lyra takes down Lynch and now goes for the cover to retain. But it's Lynch now who's showing some resilience as well. We've seen willpower from Lyra, the resilience of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, who landed not so nicely on her lower back. Lyra thought she had it, and she's almost speaking words. She's almost speaking to herself. Like, what do I do now? That's at least the impression. Trying to figure out, perhaps looking for that Nightwing. Becky Lynch realized it. Standing switch from Lyra. Roll up. Becky turns it around. Becky tried to use the rope, but Jessica Carr spotted it. That was premeditated. And down goes Valkyria. Oh! It seemed that Becky Lynch, who had just pulled something new out of the playbook. Becky digging deep into the playbook. That last shot, almost the one that took it all home for the man. And Lyra, who just took a heavy shot. And the 17,155 members of the WWE Universe trying to rally behind Lyra Valkyria. Meanwhile, it's Becky Lynch who's fired up, looking to take advantage, looking to end this once and for all, looking for the manhandle slam to close this out. But Lyra counters, sends Lynch into the corner, but nobody home as Lyra went after Becky. But getting Becky caught up and sending Becky to the outside onto the floor. Now it's Lyra up and over, high cross body, takes the challenger out. And now Lyra, who sends Becky Lynch back into the ring. Lyra up at the top, looking to fly. And the leg drop to the back of the neck of the man. And now just going to go for a cover. That split of hesitation between going up to the top and going for the cover is what cost her right there. Stumbling, just the thought of the fact that Lyra Valkyria, who I'm at a loss of words for, having this big opportunity, you can't afford to make mistakes. Losing your words at the thought of seeing, the champ making some mistakes, and it does happen. But there is no room for error as champion because you have the biggest target on your back. And now these two exchanging blows in the center of the ring. It's very apparent who the members of the WWE Universe and the Enterprise Center want to see get the upper hand of this between these two. Becky countering. Becky Lynch takes down, looking for the armbar. Lyra trying to fight free of it. And Lyra able to turn it around now. Now it's Lyra who's got an armbar on Becky Lynch. How apropos would this be? But, of course, Becky Lynch, somebody who knows the armbar submission hold very well, knows how to get out of it as well. And now looking to get that disarmer fully locked in. Lyra rolling through. Lyra stacks up Lynch. And now the cover has been broken. And a manhandle slam countered. Lyra in the cover almost had Becky. Manhandle slam. And there it is. Oh! But Valkyria stays alive. And the look of sheer disbelief in the face of Becky Lynch, hitting the biggest shot. Lynch thought she had it won, but it wasn't quite enough. Now, if you're Lynch, you need to avoid overthinking. You need to keep your eye on the prize. You cannot let frustration start to set in, because that is where mistakes can be made. especially so deep into a matchup with such high emotion between these two who have rich history with each other. And talk about having your confidence boost just completely cut in half based on that kick out. What in the world is going on in the mind of Becky Lynch? She's grabbing a steel. She'll get disqualified. You can't win the title that way, Becky. Not very wise. But now the official. And the official making sure the match doesn't end that way. Oh, but Becky, a man with a plan. The man with a plan who took the opportunity to expose that top turnbuckle. Oh, but Lyra counters. Oh, Becky blocked it. Nice German. Oh, what a spin kick from Lyra. And Lyra, moonsault connects. Will it be enough? But it not quite enough to keep down Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch kicks out. These two are dishing it all out. They're not holding anything out of the playbook whatsoever, making sure that they leave everything on the mat. Everything they can dish out, they're doing. They're not going to risk the what if I had done this, would I still be or would I have won the Women's Intercontinental Championship? And for Lyra Valkyria being the champion, she has got the heavier weight on her shoulders in the most literal sense at that point. But Becky Lynch, who sent Lyra, Lyra was sent into the exposed was it the exposed turnbuckle? And then another manhandle slam, only for Lyra to kick out once more. Whatever the outcome of this match is, whether she wins, whether she loses, you cannot deny what Lyra Valkyria has done as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Jessica Carr realizing it. Gonna went for another manhandle slam. And a Nightwing. And a Nightwing. And the ref out of position, allowing Becky Lynch to kick out at the last split second. You see, the veteran, Becky Lynch, thought of everything. Becky Lynch knowing that the official was going to try and fix the turnbuckle because the official wants to keep this match fair. With the Nightwing having been connected, the big shot of Lyra nailing picture perfect on Becky Lynch, center of the ring. And the count beginning just a split second too late because the official was out of place trying to fix that top turnbuckle. And now looking for one more to leave nothing left in the playbook. Lynch looking for one more manhandle slam, but it's Lyra who rolls through. Becky kicks out. Oh, what a thumb to the eye, and the official didn't see it. Rolling up. Lyra now with a cover. Oh! Lyra got her! Lyra got her! And Becky just completely ticked off. Lyra retained. Becky expressing her frustrations and not holding back, not leaving her emotions in as she takes out Lyra. Do something. Becky Lynch got outplayed by Lyra Valkyria. That's what this was. And now we have officials trying to stop Becky Lynch from, potentially breaking the arm of Lyra. Lyra, who's writhing in pain. Becky Lynch has gone unhinged. And our Raw General Manager Adam Pearce coming out to break the thing up. And Nonetheless, Lyra Valkyria retains the title, but at what cost? You have to know this isn't done between Lyra and Becky. Tough loss for the man. She didn't take it so well. Becky starts to brute. Becky brooding her way to the back. It was one hell of a match. A lot has been learned about these two women in this match, how far they are willing to go, but also at the same time, what they're able to handle in terms of emotional capacity. And we saw that Becky Lynch just couldn't handle the loss to Lyra Valkyria, who was able to pull it through. She found the loop in the hole, and she went for it, and she had it. Tonight was Lyra's night. Not in the best condition, though. But Lyra does it. Let's get a look at this one more time. Let's get a look at some of the highlights. With multiple manhandle slams. There's that first one where Lyra would kick out. You saw the look of disbelief in the eyes of Becky Lynch. We got a look of a beautiful moonsault from Lyra where Becky Lynch would then kick out. And the Nightwing attempt would be countered. Oh, sent into the middle turnbuckle. And then a manhandle slam. The second one. And the thumb to the eye when the official wasn't looking. Oh, it seemed like she was going for the manhandle slam roll up. Lyra just, with her eye still being messed up from being thumbed. It was either her nose or her eye. Whatever it was. Lyra is not looking too great, but she's looking even better that she still has that women's Intercontinental Championship.